Hi, good day all of you. Welcome to our session. Welcome to our channel Intelligible Tutorials. Now we are going to talk about semi-supervised learning. What is the meaning of the semi-supervised learning? Already we have seen in our previous sessions, the introduction. Once again we see the semi-supervised learning introduction and we see the applications, the way of working of the semi-supervised learning. We have seen the semi-supervised learning is the combination of supervised learning and as well as unsupervised learning. What is the meaning of supervised learning? The class label can be priorly predicted. So each and every data item can have a specific class to where it is mapped. So that is the supervised learning. What is unsupervised learning? There is no clear specification of each and every data item in which class it falls under. That means it's a grouping of the data. There is no prior prediction of each and every data item in which class it falls under. So it's called as grouping, unsupervised learning. Whereas supervised learning is called as what? Classification. We separate the data items into the separate classes. Hence it is also called as the classification. So we can say the prior prediction is there for each and every data item in supervised learning is there in each and every data item in supervised learning. And one more thing we need to remember is it is expensive. And whereas unsupervised learning, prior prediction is not there. So one more thing here we need to write it is label data and prior prediction is not there for unsupervised learning. And it is cheaper and it is also called as unlabeled data. So once again we have seen the supervised and as well as unsupervised learning. So likewise these are the various differences. And how the semi-supervised learning will work. Semi-supervised learning is already a combination of supervised learning and as well as unsupervised learning. So what we can say is it works on both the labeled data and as well as unlabeled data. So it works on both labeled and unlabeled data, and it works on small amount of labeled data for supervised learning and large amount of unlabeled data as unsupervised learning. The reason is it is expensive and it is cheaper. This is the reason. So it works on label data, on small amount of the data, and for large amount of the data it obviously goes for unsupervised learning. So what kind of the data, what kind of the learning it first implements is in semi-supervised learning. First it implements supervised learning and later it implements unsupervised learning. First implements supervised, later it goes for the remaining data as unsupervised learning. So likewise it implements the supervised and as well as unsupervised learning in the semi-supervised learning. To understand clearly, we see one real world example based on these three techniques. The student is there. The student every day goes to school and complete the task given by the teacher. Whatever it is given by the teacher, he completes each and every task. So he obtains some knowledge by completing those tasks given by the teacher. Okay. So the first one is nothing but student goes to school and complete task given by teacher. So he obtains some knowledge. So it is one kind of learning. So gains knowledge. So it is comes under the supervised learning. The next one is nothing but basing on this he can formulate some set of problems, some kind of the problems by using that existing knowledge. Okay, so basing on the similarity of those tasks what he has completed, he can formulate his own tasks. So based on tasks he completes similar tasks. So here similarity is there. Whenever there is similarity, concept comes under unsupervised learning. It is. So coming to the third case, the teacher given homework to the student. Homework to student to carry some tasks. In order to complete the task number 3, point number 3, what he has to do? He has to implement the first point and as well as he has to implement the second point also. That is supervised learning plus unsupervised learning. Means what? He has to use the existing knowledge and he has to use the prior knowledge based on task what he has solved, and the next one based on that he used to solve, he can complete the similar task what he has given. Okay, what teacher has given to him, he has to complete those similar tasks. That means under the supervision of the teacher, he can obtain some kind of the knowledge, some kind of the task, how to classify the task, how to use those tasks and all these things. And the second one is using those tasks, similar problems he can solve. He has to use both the points in the semi-supervised learning. So in the semi-supervised learning, he has to implement both the existing knowledge under supervision of the teacher, what he have implemented, and the next one, how he can solve the similar problems, that knowledge also he has to use while doing the homework. So this for the third task is called as semi-supervised learning. So the third point is completely an example of semi-supervised learning where he can implement the existing knowledge under the supervision of the teacher and he can able to solve the similar examples based on the existing things like that. So these two can be collectively called semi-supervised learning. In the third point, he is going to implement this. This is the real example of supervised, unsupervised and as well as semi-supervised learning. Now we see what are the various applications given to the semi-supervised learning. There are so many number of the applications are there in the semi-supervised learning. The very first applications of semi-supervised learning. The first one is speech recognition. The second one is internet content classification. And the third one is protein design. In the DNA of the protein design, we use both supervised learning plus unsupervised learning. Whereas in the speech recognition also, you may use the supervised learning and as well as unsupervised learning. And in the internet content classification, here we need to talk about Google search engine. So whatever phrase or whatever word or whatever phrase you will give, so Google ranks based on the semi-supervised learning only. Okay, so it implements the semi-supervised learning for searching the phrases given by the users. It ranks them based on the semi-supervised learning. It implements both supervised and as well as unsupervised learning. Likewise, the new applications, whatever we are coming, the upcoming future applications and the deep learning also, the semi-supervised learning is used very well. One more application, it can be used in deep learning in convolutional neural networks. Convolutional neural networks are used in a way for semi-supervised learning only. Convolutional neural networks. Normally we use the neural networks, different kinds of the neural networks for supervised learning, different set of the neural networks for unsupervised learning, like multi-layer feed-forward networks and perceptron networks for supervised learning, half-field and coherent networks for unsupervised learning. Whereas these convolutional neural networks can be used for semi-supervised learning. These convolutional neural networks can be implemented in the deep learning task. In the new era of the applications, in the forthcoming future applications, all are implemented based on the semi-supervised learning. Like what we can conclude is semi-supervised learning can have the numerous applications in the future and in the present also, which can implement both supervised and as well as the unsupervised learning. Whenever we are going for large amount of the data, we have to make use of both. For that we go for semi-supervised learning. So in this way we can say semi-supervised learning is very important in learning tasks. It becomes it most widely used in various number of the applications like this. Okay, thank you.